inviting me to speak in today. I'm really glad to be here. It has been a very interesting conference with a very high level of, I love the pecha issue at the beginning. And I really feel like a local priest being in the Vatican. Because we are in Latin America and Spain. I live in Madrid, by the way. I have my house in Madrid because I live more in a plane than in Madrid. But you will see what is going on there, which is completely different. I am an architect, by the way, although I don't wear a black t-shirt. I have a family, wife and 2 small kids of 18 and 4 years old. I love sailing, skiing, and so on. I have also 2 older daughters of my previous marriage. And as Niall said, well, I own and I'm president of the biggest consultancy firm, which is working in the Spanish language countries. We're more now 20 years, 3,000 projects, lots of things, lots of experience that which make me, and even that I am a baby boomer just for a year. Okay? So I will be 50 this year, so I'm not there. I probably start to work very early. I changed the title of the conference from Agile to Flexible. Okay? Because, and I have been seeing it during the conference, I think flexible, I do it for one reason, because I can sell better the concept flexible in Latin America than the concept agile. And also I've seen during the conference that the concept flexible I think is better because it fits everybody. Because in flexible working, you can be people that want to go from 9 to 5 to the office and ask his own desk. We have to think in these people also, no? Or people that want to personalize his desk. And you can also have the more agile people or mobile people. So I like better the flexible concept than the agile concept, so that's why I changed it. And challenge of implementing. Just a few pictures of what is Latin America that you may know. One of the biggest problems that Latin America has is the lack of infrastructures. And that means infrastructures also in mobile networks. So all the 3G, 4G what we have in Europe, is not so extended, or fiber, things like that. So this is a really something that will stop any implementation, or will difficult implementations. The installations, the offices this is good and bad, but they are used to this type of office. This is an office in Lima, which I visit, and the client was asking me, do you think that we can do something better? I said, well, I have to be very bad architect to do something better than that. No? Well, this is it was funny because each table was different. It was something like 35 tables, each of them different. Each was looking like a museum. No? Probably this in London would be a museum of the office space. But well, it's they're like that. So this is really 95% of the office space in Latin America are like that. So it's difficult to explain or to show photographs or the things of Google or Microsoft, like that, where they are in this type of situation. There's also a very big difference between you have Sao Paulo, you have the financial building, and then 1 kilometer or 500 meters near that you have a lot of, so there's a big difference between the people that have money and people that don't have money, so it's a big gap on that. But what is something that is clear and in every place is that the technology, the young people, the people are using internet, which which is the thing that makes us all around the world global, no? Internet, the access to the internet, access to the world. So technology is there, the iPhones are there, the Samsung are there, the tablets are there. So and it's used by most of the population, and the new generations are used to this new technology. Although we have seen that the installations are not so in line with that. So really, we are in a global world, maybe more and more and more. So the changes that is going to happen in Latin America are going to be faster than ever. So now we can say that perhaps you have to come back to the 90s in Europe, no? 90s or the 80s, no? And perhaps we can say that now Latin America has a gap with us of 20, 25 years. But this gap, they are not going to wait 20 or 25 years to be as we are in Europe now. It's going to be not more than 10, probably, where it's going the transformation of all this area. So you'll see that there's lots of opportunities. There's a lot of consultants also in the room, so I invite them to go there because there's a lot of job to be done. The difficult issue the first challenge is to convince the client why. Which is something that probably what we have heard during the conference here in Europe, more in London, you are nearly don't need to say what to explain why. People understand it, people have already seen it, people want it, and sometimes the clients come and ask for it. Here the problem is the starting point of why I have to do what you are telling me. This why we know many reasons, like cost optimization was a good reason, increased productivity, work-life balance, talent retention, reduced commuting, and many others. No? The problem with all of these reasons, and you explain, and that's why we do all the workplace conferences in Latin America every year in every country. We do like 10 workplace conferences to evangelize people, and people understand. Say, oh, yes, okay, yes, I understand that. It looks that we have to go there, no? But the problem is that they say, okay, come next year. Well, it's not priority. We have a lot of work now, so we come next year. No? So really, the one that has been more successful in all these countries, it has been the cost optimization, because the cost optimization is a very simple driver. You are spending this, or you are spending this, and if you let me change you the model of using the space, or not of working, of using the space, you are going to reduce the cost by it, so you pay the project. So this is something that they understand very easy, no? And then once you have started with that, normally the human resources guys, the system guys, then everybody goes inside the project, and then they do things, and you complete the project, and then it will turn into a change of product. No? In making the business case, in Latin America, here, the opportunity on doing a business case is when you find out that there is a very low occupancy, well, you have a better, much reasons to go to a flexible working environment. Because you say, okay, only 20% of your desks are occupied every day. You have a good reason to go to a flexible working and reduce the number of workstations. When the total cost, and I mean total cost, rent, consumptions, energy, facility management cost, when the total costs are higher in cities like London or like Sao Paulo, the business case also is easy to convince on people to do it. When the density is very big, and we are in radius like 20-25 square meter per position, it's also easy because the gap is very big, so you can reduce the total amount in the business case. And less amortization is about the age of the facilities. When you have a facility which is 25 years old, like the one we see in Lima, there is nothing to amortize. It's already paid, so you don't need to put it into the business case. No? When it's something new, like you have, like Google has here, no? Which is every 5 years. No? Every 5 years you have to do the business case with a very short. About this is based on this data in more than 100 diagnostics, or what we call health checks. It's what we do at the first time we get into our client, workplace health check. And this is the occupancy that we have measured in the last year in these countries with more than 100 diagnostics. And you say the occupancy is higher in those countries than Europe or the UK. The density is also higher. Density 24, 25, 26 square meters is very, very common. Where in Europe, in a normal installation without flexible working is 18, 15, something like that, but if you go into flexible working, then you get to 5, 6, or something like that. So the difference is quite big. So really the journey from them is really high, because going with a flexible working, going from 24 to 5. You could imagine the amount of money that is for this for a big organization. The total cost with the exception of Sao Paulo, that I put it in a side and it's not considered in the media, that is upstairs in the 535. The rent are cheap, the facility costs are cheap, so they're not very expensive countries, are about $500 square meter a year, and with the exception, because of the rent of Sao Paulo, which is incredible, the cost of the rent. But well, so the age of the facilities are more than 15 years, most of the places. Panama is the one that, Panama and Chile are the ones that the age of the media of the age of the facilities is lower. But, and in Europe we're 12, 5 in Google, but 12, 10, 8, 9, around that. So the normal time of changing another place. So if we resume that and we put into side the formula, all this, with different reasons, Iberia, for example, Spain and Portugal, the business case are not very good because the occupancy is not very low. No? It's low, but it's not very low. The density is already low, so it's not the total cost is not very high. So it's very. So the business case is good, but it's not as good as LATAM or Brazil, no? Where you have the more bigger opportunities, although the costs are very low. You have big densities, and probably with the density, the occupancy, because of the way of using the space, because of the project, will drop down also during the project. No? So it's easy really to sell flexible working, but you have to go to the focus on this cost issue, which is because the cost issue, and I find the same in Spain and Portugal and nearly in any country. And I was in the coffee break talking with a responsible of a very big organization also, of a pharma organization, and for our clients, it's always the cost, the first thing. Probably in these conferences, if somebody came and talked only about cost, talking about work-life balance, or we're talking about other things. Of course, other things, of course, but in big organizations, big multinationals, first, or is my experience, which I have shared with some in the coffee, is cost. And then, if you go the wheel start to move. No? Another very good reason in Latin America is traffic. The commuting is terrible. You never know. The problem is that you never know how long it's going to take you. I was going to put some data of the media travel time. Madrid is 40 minutes. London, the paper I saw was saying about 65 minutes, media to get to the work. But for example, Sao Paulo was nearly 90 minutes. But I have been 2 hours and a half in Sao Paulo trying to get from one place to another place. So this is a media, but then you can, the problem is that more or less in London, or experience in London, or in other countries like that, the media works, but here the media doesn't work, because you never know how long it's going to take you. So you can stay in Lima a few weeks ago, you can stay 3 hours to come back to the hotel. So you never know, and it's terrible. There is no public transport, which is public transport. There is the WAWAs, no? This type of somebody organized it themselves, and they have their own public transport, no? But it's a convenience. And to finalize, at the end, once you start the process, you begin to move the wheel. The project is approved. After the project is approved is when you can come with all the soft and nice concepts of the flexible working, corporate work-life balance, the concept of Agile Working, all these concepts. And then with a lot of change management, because this is one of the biggest business that we have already now in Latin America. The biggest team we have probably is the change management team. So there's a lot of change management that you have to do there, because you have to start from the very beginning of the they have never heard some of them about that. No? But at the end, offices looks more or less like the European. There's not too much tropicalization. But I would say that this is the very exception of office space in all these countries. I say 95% of the places are like the one we saw in Chile, in Bogota. This have just finished, and it's the new one. Unique, but we did also. Microsoft in Madrid is one of our main clients. We have done Madrid twice, Lisbon, Barcelona, Sevilla, Trinidad and Tobago, Lima, and now we're working in Chile. Kellogg's was a very nice project in Madrid. Empresa in Lisbon, Microsoft Lisbon, and in Amman, Jordan. So the MENA countries where we have worked in Egypt, in Dubai, Arabia Saudi, and these places, they are quite similar experience. Of what you have. Animal health in Dubai. And that's all. I don't know if you have me in the time, more or less.
We'll say that first.
Okay.